Sharing finances with others might seem like a good idea at first, but it can quickly lead to problems. Whether it's with a partner, family member, or friend, mixing money with relationships is tricky. There are so many risks involved that people often don't see until it's too late. In this video, we're going to dive into why sharing your finances with others isn't always as great as it seems and what can go wrong. One of the first things that can happen when you share your finances is that it can cause a lot of stress and tension. Money is a sensitive topic. Everyone has different ideas about how it should be spent, saved, or invested. When two or more people are involved, disagreements are bound to happen. What might seem like a small issue at first can blow up into something much bigger. People might start arguing about how much money to spend on things, whether it's going out to eat or buying a new gadget. These arguments can lead to hurt feelings and misunderstandings, especially if one person feels like they're carrying more of the financial burden than the other. Another risk is that sharing finances can create an imbalance of power. If one person has more control over the money, they can start making decisions that benefit themselves while leaving the other person feeling powerless. This can happen in romantic relationships where one partner earns more than the other or has more financial knowledge. The person with the most control might make decisions about money without consulting the other, and this can lead to feelings of resentment or even manipulation. When you share your finances, you also expose yourself to financial risk. If the person you're sharing with has bad financial habits, this can affect you. For example, if they spend money carelessly or get into debt, some of it, especially if your finances are tied together. You might find yourself paying off their credit card bills or trying to cover costs that you never expected. This can drain your own savings and leave you struggling to stay afloat. It's easy to assume that you're safe because you trust the person, but once money's involved, things can quickly spiral out of control. Sharing finances also means that your credit score is no longer just about you. If you have joint accounts or loans, both of your credit histories become intertwined. If one person misses a payment or has a low credit score, it can affect both of you. This can hurt your ability to get loans in the future, such as for a car or a house. It's important to remember that your financial decisions don't just impact you anymore, but anyone you're sharing finances with. In romantic relationships, sharing finances too early can put a strain on the relationship itself. It might seem like a natural step to combine finances when you're in love, but it can add pressure and cause stress, especially if the relationship is still new or unstable.
Money can bring out the worst in people, and sometimes couples who share finances end up breaking up, which can lead to messy financial entanglements. Dividing assets, figuring out who gets what, and dealing with debts can be complicated, especially if emotions are involved. Another thing that can happen when you share your finances is that you lose a sense of financial independence. When you combine your money with someone else's, it can feel like you no longer have control over your own financial choices. You might start to feel dependent on the other person for financial support, or vice versa. This dependency can create feelings of insecurity and anxiety. You might feel like you can't make decisions without consulting the other person, even for things like buying a new phone or going on a trip. It's also important to consider the consequences of sharing your finances with someone who is financially irresponsible. If they aren't good at managing money, it can put you in a difficult position. For instance, if they take out a loan in your name or max out a credit card, you could be stuck paying for it. Even if you trust them, you can't always predict how someone will behave with money. Financial problems can happen quickly, and it can be hard to recover from them, especially if you're dealing with someone who isn't responsible with their finances. There's also the risk that sharing finances can affect your relationship with that person. When you start mixing money with personal relationships, things can get complicated. If things don't work out, it's not just the emotional fallout you have to deal with, but also the financial consequences. Dividing assets, paying off debts, and sorting out financial obligations can strain any relationship. It might even lead to resentment if one person feels like they've been treated unfairly or taken advantage of. Even with the best intentions, sharing finances can lead to a lack of privacy. When you share money with someone else, they get access to your financial information. This means they might know exactly how much you earn, how much you spend, and what you're saving for. This can feel uncomfortable, especially if you like to keep certain things private. Having someone constantly looking at your financial situation can create stress and make you feel like you've lost control over your own money. Another reason why sharing finances isn't always a good idea is that it can prevent you from learning how to manage your own money. When you share finances with someone else, you might start relying on them to take care of things like budgeting, paying bills, or saving for the future. While this can be helpful at first, it can also prevent you from developing your own financial skills. Learning how to manage your money independently is an important life skill, and sharing finances too early can prevent you from gaining that experience.
Lastly, sharing finances with others can complicate things if you want to make major life decisions. If you're planning to buy a house, start a business, or invest in something important, sharing finances can make these decisions more complicated. You'll have to take the other person's opinions and financial situation into account, which can delay or prevent you from making the best choice for yourself. Having your finances tied to someone else can hold you back from achieving your own financial goals. In conclusion, sharing finances with others might seem like a good idea at first, especially if you have a strong relationship with the person involved, but it comes with a lot of risks that can quickly outweigh the benefits. Money, as we all know, is an essential part of life, and it can bring people closer or tear them apart, depending on how it's handled. When you decide to share finances, whether it's with a partner, family member, or even a friend, you are not only merging resources, but also intertwining your personal lives in ways that may be difficult to untangle later. One of the biggest risks is the stress that comes with managing finances together. Money issues are often a source of tension, and when you share it with others, those tensions can escalate. You may start to argue over spending habits, savings goals, or who is responsible for paying bills, which can create long-term friction. Even small disagreements when it comes to money can build up over time and damage relationships, especially if the expectations aren't clear from the start. The pressure of being financially dependent on someone or feeling like you're being unfairly burdened can lead to resentment. And what started as a simple decision can end up causing emotional harm. Another risk is the imbalance of power that can arise when finances are shared. If one person in the relationship has more control over the finances, it could lead to one person feeling powerless. This is particularly problematic in relationships where one partner is the primary breadwinner or has more financial knowledge. When financial decisions are made unilaterally, it can leave the other person feeling excluded, unappreciated, or even manipulated. This dynamic can create an unhealthy power imbalance that affects more than just the financial aspect of the relationship. It can spill over into other areas as well, making the relationship feel unbalanced and unfair.